please do stay at home. And if you must eat takeaways, please rather use delivery services and stay home. And of course, if you have any updates, do let us know at @Dinkomo_@Itubanda on Twitter. WhatsApp is 082-654-2446. Just drive and arrive alive.
Do you have any traffic update? Tweet us at Capricorn FM or WhatsApp 082-654-2446 and #Limpopo Traffic.
This lesson is proudly brought to you by Kagiso Trust in partnership with the Limpopo Department of Education and Capricorn FM. Kagiso Trust, overcoming poverty. Right, it's 6 minutes after 5. Capricorn FM, Limpopo's artist frequency. Dinkomo Itubanda, the A team. Today, the A team, we are the A students.
Oh, wow.
We cannot put it like that. In fact, Itubanda should actually claim that title because she says she couldn't manage to do mezzo naku dile halwala bantu.
Yes.
We see you
guys.
But of course, today we're going to be tackling maths literacy or mathematics literacy, and we are joined here today by an educator who's going to be getting into that. But hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, no, you are comfortable, I can see. Yeah, you are fine there.
Legai, mama.
All right, and yourself?
We are good, thank you. Mama,
Mrs. Mpia.
Mrs. Mpia, okay, from which school?
From Capricorn High School.
And the subject that you teach?
I'm teaching mathematical literacy, grade 12.
All right.
Just to disturb Mama, an air horn for Capricorn High School there.
Oh, yes.
Of course. Of course, we're going to be tackling math literacy. So, Mama Ratolefa Sabaka, say to catch up on the lessons.
Thank you.
Ready when you are, Mama. You can start. Don't worry. Take your time.
Thank you so much. Good day, grade 12 mathematical literacy learners. Let us quickly check order of the question paper, of the questions in question paper. Paper 1 consists of 5 questions. Question 1, which is plus minus 35, short context mixed questions, only level 1. Question 2 is finance. Question 3, measurement. Question 4, maps and plans. Question 5, data handling. Probability will be dispersed in all 5 questions where it is appropriate. That is for paper 1. Paper 2 consists of 4 or 5 questions. All contexts have mixed questions. A concerted effort will be made to place the questions in order of level of difficulty. However, it must be noted that level of difficulty is subjective. Overall, what I can say is that mathematical literacy consists of 2 papers, which is paper 1 out of 150 marks, and paper 2 out of 150 marks as well. I thank you. Lesson for today is on measurement. Measurement is quite diverse and will need to be a bit faster, though I will engage you in the lesson. In measurement, we dwell on length. Length, this is whereby we do measurement of length to compare distances, the height, the width, and so on. And the units for length: millimeters, centimeters, decimeters, meters, kilometers. The length we use rulers, measuring tapes, treadle wheels, and so on. But in vehicles, we use the odometer that can measure the distance. Other than that, with length, we can also use imperial units. Imperial units are the units used abroad. We do use metric units, which are the millimeters, centimeters, and so on. Imperial units, if you compare them, measuring length, we use inches, feet, yards, and miles. Besides length, we do have mass, which is also weight. In terms of weight, we use scales. Scales are used to measure mass. The units for mass: milligram, gram, kilometer, kilograms, and much heavier mass we use tons. In imperial units, we use the ounces, which is abbreviated as OZ, which is OZ, some, or we use pounds. Pounds is LB. One of the things that we need to consider more is calculation of time in measurement. When we calculate time, we consider the units of time. Units of time being an hour, minute, and seconds. I would like learners to write this table down. An hour is 1. On the table, we need to compare it with the minutes. So, below the minutes, you write 60. It means there are 60 minutes in an hour. Next, you check on the seconds. 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds, meaning an hour is the biggest. When you move from an hour to a minute, you are going to multiply by 60. When you move from an hour to seconds, you are going to multiply by 3,600. Why? Because we've got 60 and 60. Meaning, moving from any bigger unit to a smaller one, you multiply. But when you go back, vice versa, moving from minute to hour, you must divide by 60. Why? Because an hour is the biggest. 1 hour is made up of 60 minutes, and 1 minute is made up of 60 seconds. In this case, when adding up the times, we should know that the next minute, after 59 minutes, transforms the minutes into a full hour. I've got an example here whereby you need to know that when dealing with time, we add or subtract. Example: when Michaela started jogging, the reading on the clock was 8, which is for hours, 47, which is for minutes, 24, which is for seconds. She checked the time when she finished jogging, and the reading was 9, 13, 38. Now, as learners, you are requested to calculate how long did she jog. If you want to know how long she jogged, you need to start with the finishing time. Finishing time, you write hour, minute, seconds. Starting time, it is the same. 9 on hours, you write 909. Minutes, 13. Seconds, 38. Starting time, 08. Minutes, 47. Seconds, 24. For you to calculate this, I usually say it is best if you use your calculator to calculate the difference in time. The difference in time on your calculator, if you are using sharp, you must use the DMS. The DMS is the first icon on the black below the BS. It's written DMS. When you use the Casio, the fourth icon on your left, which is a dot and some commas, you are going to use it in order to get the difference in time. So let us go. I'm going to use the DMS because I've got sharp here. 09, you press 09. I hope we are doing this together. 09, DMS, 13, DMS, 38, DMS, minus 08, DMS, 47, DMS, 14, DMS equals to. My answer is 02624. It means the time difference between this is 26 minutes, 14 seconds. 26 minutes, the duration difference, 26 minutes, 14 seconds. Other than that, we can also check that there is the one way of writing time, whereby we use the decimal format. But sometimes we want to know the exact number of minutes and seconds. For example, we talk about 4,66 hours. How many minutes and seconds on the 0,66 of an hour? Remember, 0,66 is 66 out of 100. If we have to convert the hours to minutes and seconds, we do the following. Hence, I've indicated the 4,66. The 4 hours should be set aside. We've got 4, which is 4 hours. Now, what about the 0,66 hours? Remember, the time given there was 4,66. So the 0,66 hours is 66 over 100 times 60. Why? Because we are converting to minutes. 66 over 100 times 60, which gives us 39,6. So it means in 66, we do have 39,6 minutes. But now this is converted in minutes. We need to convert this to seconds as well. We are left with 6. 6 is 0,6, which is the same as 6 over 10. We multiply by 60, which is equals to 36 seconds. So 4,66 is the same as 4 hours, 39 minutes, and 36 seconds. You can also use, if you're using the Casio, if you are using the scientific calculator, you can use it to check your answer by pressing the hours, minutes, and second button like we did before. In measurement again, main focus is on shapes because we're measuring here. We're doing mathematical literacy because this is Maths for Life, and therefore we need to know the total number of tiles we put in a room, and therefore we need to know the dimension of the room. And therefore, if you want to check on the dimension of the room, one will say, let us calculate the perimeter of this room. Let us calculate the area. Let us maybe calculate the volume so that we should know on how to paint because this is mathematical literacy. Let us start with perimeter. Definition of concepts, very, very important in mathematical literacy. This is whereby you should know what the perimeter is. The definition of perimeter. Paper 1, 2 marks. Perimeter is the distance around a particular shape. When we talk of a particular shape, in this case, we're talking about regular and irregular shapes. Remember, in measurement, we've got square. I'm talking about regular shapes in this case. Square, rectangle, circle, and a triangle. Those are regular shapes. For instance, if I say perimeter is the total length of the side of the shape or the distance around a particular shape, It means I'm going to move around the shape in order to determine the perimeter. If I've got a square with a dimension of 6 centimeters, the perimeter of this square is 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Square, all sides equal. If it's a rectangle, we've got the longest side, which is the length, and the shortest side, which is the breadth, which is length and breadth. It would be 10. In this case, I've got a rectangle here with the length of 10 centimeters and the width of 5 centimeters. It would be 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5. And when you add them together, it's 30. And because the unit used there is centimeter, it's 30 centimeters. Let's get to the circle. A circle, when we calculate the perimeter of it, we refer to it as the circumference. Meaning when we come to a circle, because it's round, it is round. There is a line across the circle. If the line is across the circle, we refer to that line as the diameter. Diameter is the line from the other end to the from one end to the other. And now the diameter can be divided into 2. When we divide the diameter into 2, we refer to that as the radius. Radius is half the diameter. Therefore, when you calculate the circumference of a circle, which is also the perimeter, you use the formula 2 pi r. 2 pi r is the same as 2 times pi times r. And when you are given this formula, you'll be given the equivalent of a pi. If the equivalent of a pi is not given next to the shape, you need to go to your instructions on a page 2 of your question paper. Somewhere, I think number 8 or 9, you'll get the equivalent of pi. Usually pi is equals to, in this case, I'll use 3 decimal places, which is 3,142. I've got a circle with the diameter of 15. A circle with the diameter of 15. A circle with the diameter of 15. Substitution on the formula. When you are given the formula, make sure that you write the values. 2 is 2 times pi. I said pi, we use 3,142. It means of the substitution for pi is 3,142 times radius. Hence, we are given the diameter of 15. And I said the radius is half the diameter. So it means this 15 should be divided by 2, which will give you 7,5. 2 times 3,142 times 7,5. From there, you check the units given. The units is centimeters. You take your calculator, you work it out to 2 times 3,142 times 7,5. You get your answer. The answer is 471,3. Because the units are centimeters, you write centimeters. The last regular shape is the triangle. The triangle, this is the right angle triangle I've got here with the following dimension. On the opposite is 10. On the base of the triangle is 7. And the hypotenuse is 13. Therefore, you are to calculate perimeter. Perimeter distance around the shape, which is equals to 10 plus 7 plus 13. The units are all the same. The units are centimeters, you add. If you are given the formula to calculate perimeter, make use of it. Don't just say the perimeter is the distance around the shape, then you add. make sure that you use the formulae given. Example, the perimeter of a square is equals to 2 into bracket S plus S. S stands for one side, and therefore make sure that you substitute the one side. Perimeter of a rectangle, 2 into bracket L plus B. Let's get to irregular shape. Irregular shape is the one which you can read. You can't say this is a square, this is a circle, this is a triangle, and so on. I've got a shape whereby there is a square and the triangle attached to it. And when I check this square, it's obvious all sides are equal, which is equals to 6 meters. Remember, in math literacy, you'll be given the scenarios. You go through the scenario. This is Mike's plot in Pesi 5. And Mike would like to put the kettle in one crawl. And the dimension of the crawl is as follows. Hence, Mike is new in the field. He's got only 5 cows. So, the dimension of the shape is as follows. Is the square, which is 6 meters, and the attached triangle given there. The attached triangle is 7 and the hypotenuse is 14. Make sure that you check the units that they are the same. Make sure that you check the units that they are the same. And therefore, because you are to give the perimeter of this irregular shape, you move around the shape. It's 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7, 7 of the base of a triangle, plus 14, which is the hypotenuse. From there, you give your answer.
All right. We are going to be getting into news headlines and sports shortly. And of course, we will be continuing. If you have any questions, you can send them through to our WhatsApp number at 082-654-2446 with the hashtag Kagiso Radio Teachers.
Have you heard that all Laduma hardware stores are now open? We offer quality building materials at unbeatable prices. At Laduma Hardware, our customers come first. As a responsible business, the following COVID-19 prevention precautions have been applied. Hand washing, sanitizing, temperature screening, and social distancing is practiced. We also disinfect our stores frequently. Please remember to wear your face mask when you visit our stores. Together, we will win this coronavirus war. Laduma, where you save and score.
The coronavirus has spread quickly around the world. It moves with stealth and it's deadly. And for now, isolation, constant washing of hands and sanitizing are the only effective means to bring it under control. To protect us all, South Africa has been locked down. But this will only work if every one of us does our part to remain isolated and supports all the measures our government has put in place. To assist us, the South African National Defence Force has been deployed to share the enforcement burden, save lives, build trust, and work with the citizens. The SANDF's presence is reassuring. They are here to protect the nation against harm. And right now, that harm is the coronavirus. Assist the SANDF by giving them your full support, and they'll support and protect you. Every Monday just after 7, the SANDF and Capricorn FM will bring you the SANDF Coronavirus Update. The SANDF and Capricorn FM. We're stronger together.
Reach your levels with us, Capricorn FM. These are radio goals. We them boys. This is no ordinary radio. Capricorn FM. The ultimate radio experience on Limpopo's hottest frequency. Capricorn FM.
News headlines on Capricorn FM.
Let's look at our headlines now. Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, says 580 health workers have tested positive for COVID-19 in both public and private health facilities. Meanwhile, in the Western Cape, Premier Ellen Windy says they are hard at work tackling the infections at various hotspots in the province. And the police in Aldays outside Louis Trichardt are cautioning community members around Aldays and adjacent farms to be extra careful as 7 lions have reportedly escaped from their cage at Ingogo Safaris, possibly on Monday night. Your final bulletin at 6 p.m.
Capricorn FM Sports, on and off the field. We've got you covered.
Cancel Spanisha Jazz Drive guys from Tlangos Gimetiwa and the International Cricket Council has earlier today confirmed that cricket qualifiers for next year's Women's World Cup and the 2022 Under-19 World Cup, both in July, have been postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic. The game's governing body has explained how the decision came as part of its comprehensive contingency planning process and after consultation. Sri Lanka was due to host the women's qualifiers between the 3rd and 19th of July, with 3 berths available for the 2021 event in New Zealand. Meanwhile, qualifying for the 2022 Under-19 tournament was scheduled to begin with an European regional tournament in Denmark from the 24th to the 30th of July. And the ICC head of events, Chris Tetley, added that their priority during this difficult period is to protect the well-being of players, coaches, officials, fans, and the whole cricket community. Meanwhile, cricket fast bowler Byron Hendricks has credited bowling coach Carl Langeveld for his involvement since rejoining the coaching staff, adding that he is the best he's ever worked with. Langeveld, Mark Boucher, and Jacques Kellis played a role in drafting the 29-year-old into his first national contract as part of the list of 16 players that were announced by Cricket South Africa earlier in March. Having worked with Langeveld in the past, Hendricks is excited and optimistic that the former Proteas quick can help him further his talent even more. And he put in work in the franchise system and at international level, and says he now feels like he is part of the team.
Earning my first Proteas contract is a special and proud moment for me. It does show that your hard work in the franchise system and at international level does pay off, and I feel that it does now settle a lot of nerves and makes me feel a part of the Proteas family, part of the team. So having Charles back with the Proteas is pretty special. I feel that my working relationship with him is pretty good. I've been working with him since I was 18, and he does understand my bowling the best out of all the coaches that I've worked with.
And lastly, Stormers coach John Dobson has expressed confidence that his team can hold into a 2019 World Rugby Player of the Year and Peter Steph du Toit, as well as some big name players in the coming days. The 21-day window that was agreed upon by the South African rugby industry, his players and the South African Rugby Employers Organization last month has seen a sudden interest from overseas clubs, and all professionals players were given 3 weeks until the 14th of May to get out of their current contracts with their respective unions and sign on the dotted line with those big spending UK, France and Japanese clubs. A host of suitors have in particular developed interest in du Toit, and Dobson has since spoken to the 27-year-old and other players at the Stormers. But while the team is legally not allowed to negotiate finances with the players during the 3-week window under the stipulations of the clause, Dobson has expressed that he expected no movement between now and Thursday. That's a wrap for today. I'll be back with more of your sports on the go breakfast. And for more updates, do follow us on Twitter at Capricorn FM News. For Capricorn FM Sports, I am Mahlatse Mogale Riperil.
Keeping you up to date with the latest sports news. Capricorn FM Sports.
It's 25 before 6. This lesson is proudly brought to you by Kagiso Trust in partnership with the Limpopo Department of Education and Capricorn FM. Kagiso Trust, overcoming poverty. Still joined by Mrs. L. Mbia, and today we're focusing on mathematics literacy term 1, and she had already started, so she will be continuing from where she left off. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Let us quickly do the recap of the perimeter on a compound shape. The shape is compound or irregular. Remember, I said we are given a shape whereby we do have a square, which is 6 meters, and the triangle attached to it. So I said when you calculate the perimeter, hence it is the distance around a particular shape, you move around the shape, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7. The 7 is the base of a triangle, and the hypotenuse being 14. You add. Do not add the inner dimension. Remember, we've got the other 6 whereby the triangle is attached to it. Do not add it. Perimeter is nothing else but the distance around a particular shape. Now, learners, I'm going to get to the most exciting one, which is area. Area, which is 2D. Area is the amount of space that can cover the 2D. When you say 2D, we're referring to the two-dimensional shape. Example, if you are given a rectangle has got the length, which is the longest side, and the breadth, which is the shorter side. So it means on that shape, I can see the 2D. I can identify the length and the breadth. My focus is on regular shapes. Each time when I start with a measurement, please check the regular shapes. Regular shapes, don't forget the ones you've studied at the preschool, which is the square, rectangle, circle, and a triangle. Why are we focusing mainly on this one? Because when we calculate area, this 2D, these two dimensions should be multiplied. The formulas for calculating area are as follows. Square, side times side. Remember, you'll be given the dimension, the size of whatever shape. Size, if it's 6, it means it's 6 times 6. And because we're talking of the 2D, 6 times 6 is equals to 36. If it's equals to 36, what about the centimeters? We've got the centimeter and the other centimeter, which is equals to centimeter squared. All answers for area should be squared. You get to a rectangle. Rectangle is length times breadth. Don't forget to square the units. Formula for calculating the area of a triangle. Area is equals to half times base times height. In this case, a learner should be able to identify the height and the hypotenuse. If I've got the right angled triangle, they should always know that the opposite side is the height of the triangle. And what about the base? The base being the adjacent is always given as well, unless if you are to use the Pythagoras rule, one is omitted. Then we've got the hypotenuse. In the case of a rectangle, I've got a rectangle, right angle triangle, with the height of 10 and the base of 7. Substitution, area is equals to half times base times height, which is equals to half. Half is given, it must not be omitted, is half times, then you go to your shape, 7, and the 7 is centimeters, times again, the height is 10 centimeters. You use your calculator to get your answer and make sure that you square the units. Lastly, on a regular shape, I've got a circle. A circle, in this case, its area is pi radius squared. You'll always be given the equivalent of a pi. In my case, I've used 3,142, which is 3 decimal places. So pi is equals to 3,142. If a circle, you are given the full line, which is the diameter, it means that the line should be divided into 2. So my full line in this case is 10. So it's 3,142 times 5 squared. 3,142 times 5 squared. From there you get your answer, and the answer should be, the units should be squared. Now let us quickly get to an irregular shape. This is very much different from perimeter. Perimeter, you add, area you multiply. I've got an irregular shape or a compound shape here. An irregular shape. Don't forget that with mathematical literacy, we've got scenarios. Let me just quickly give you a scenario. And when going through the scenario, make sure that you underline the numbers, because questions will be based on the numbers. I've got Skyline Primary School that would like to tile the floor of their school hall using black and gray tiles. A rectangular stage is located against one wall. A rectangular stage is located against one wall. The stage is not going to be tiled. The size of the tile is 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters. The shape of the hall itself is L shape. I would like you to draw this L shaped hall. It's L shaped. Now let us check on the dimension. I would like us to start on the northern side. The northern side of the shape, let's make it a point that we've got an arrow, the north is on top. North, we've got 11 meters. North, we've got 11. Let's get to the west. The west, we've got 18 meters. The south, we've got 2,200 centimeters. The eastern side, we've got a protruding L, which is 4 meters, and 11. 11 should be added to the northern side. And again, on the east, we've got 14 meters. I can repeat. North, 11 meters. West, 18 meters. South, 2,200 centimeters. Eastern side, we've got 4. We turn to the left, we've got 11 because it's L-shaped, 11 meters. And we go on top, we've got 14 meters. Before you start with your calculation, make sure that all units are the same. They're very, very important. Grade 12 learners, before you start calculating, mainly measurement, make sure that the units are the same. That is very, very important. All right, on this L-shaped, inside, we've got the stage, remember, which is not going to be tiled. The stage is, the length of it is 10 and the breadth is 5, all in meters. It's 10 and 5, all in meters. Now, my emphasis was on changing the units. Make sure that the units are the same. The question is, calculate the area of the floor to be tiled in meters squared. Calculate the area of the floor to be tiled in meters squared. I said 1. Make sure that the units are the same. Units given here, 1 is in centimeters. Remember, when we convert, you use the metric units, which is King Henry died of a miserable death caused by malaria. We've got 7. And in this case, you need to move from centimeter to meter. Centimeter is smaller than meter. So it means that 2,200 should be divided by 100 centimeters in order to convert to meters. When you convert, so you are going to get how many? 22 meters. This is conversion of centimeters to meters. Because you are requested to calculate in meters squared, it is very, very important to show your answer. This one of 2200 divided by 100, how you convert it to meters. When you convert it to meters, it's so important for you to show that so that you can get a mark. From there, let us calculate the area. When you calculate the area of any compound shape, make it a point that you split the shape and make it regular. How do we do that? Remember, I gave you 4 regular shapes, preschool shapes. So it means each time you must split the shape and go back to regular shape. Why? Because you are going to use the regular shape formula. When you split the shape, you can split. I'm going to split my shape, moving from west to the eastern part. When you move from the west to the eastern part, you've got the bottom one, the L part, the bottom one, and the top one. And when I check the dimensions here, I've got 4 meters and 22 meters, which gives me the rectangle. And therefore, when you are to calculate this, you must write the formula of the rectangle. Usually, formulas are given. If the formula is given to say area is equals to length times breadth, it means, hence you have divided this. You splitted your shape. You've got L times B, which is the bottom part. And in this case, when you are to substitute, your L is 22 meters times your breadth is 4 meters. And what about the top part of the L? The top part of the L, we've got 14 and 11. It means you're also going to calculate the area of the top part, which is L times B. L times B being 14 meters times 11 meters. Take your calculator and give the answer. When you take your calculator to give the answer, 22 times 4, you use your calculator, 22 times 4, it is equals to 88. So it means the answer is 88 meter squared. What about the top part? 14 by 11. The top part is 14 times 11, which is equals to 154 meter squared. Because you were requested to calculate the total area in meter squared, you take these answers, which is 88 meter squared plus 154 meter squared, you add them together. The answer is 242. What about the meter squared? Then you say meter squared. Please make sure that you don't square your final answer. You square the units. Now, in this case, because we are to tile the floor, we would like to know how many tiles should be bought. How many tiles should be bought to cover the entire area? 1, you've calculated the area. 2, you must check on the dimension given of the tile. The tile on the scenario I said is 50 centimeter by 50 centimeter. 50 centimeter by 50 centimeter, by the way, I said earlier on, there's no way you can multiply, add, subtract units which are different. So it means you must change your tile. Convert this centimeter of a tile to meters. We've got 1 tile equals to 50 centimeter times 50 centimeters. Therefore, 50 centimeters, you still use the metric units. King Henry died of a mysterious death caused by malaria. Meter to centimeter is 100. Therefore, when you want to move from centimeter to a meter, you must divide by 100. Why? Because a centimeter is smaller than a meter. Then let us divide 50 by 100. You take the 50 times 50, you multiply by 100 both sides. 50 divided by 100, 50 divided by 100, it's equals to, you get your answer, which is 0.5. So it means each tile is 0.5 by 0.5. Because you would like to know the total number that would cover the 242, you must multiply, you must get the area of one tile. Area of one tile is 0.25 meters squared. We're looking for number of tiles here. Number of tiles needed. You take the area of the floor, which is 242 meters squared. You divide by the area of one tile. Everything that you do, you don't just do on a calculator. Make it a point that you write that down, because that's for marks. Which is 242. You divide by 0.25, which is the dimension of a tile, which is equals to 968. It means total number of tiles needed to cover the entire floor is 968. One might ask and say, what if the number is 900? I'm just giving an example in this case. 968,2. There's no way you can get to the shop and buy 968,2. Because we are talking of something that is solid here, a tile, it means the comma 2 should be converted to 1. Instead of buying 968 tiles, then you'll buy 969. Let us get to the last one, which is volume. Volume is prisms. Capacity. I'm going to be faster here. Volume is capacity, which is prisms. When we deal with prisms, we're talking about the amount of space that can cover 3D, 3-dimension. 3-dimension in this case, it means we are going to add the height on the given area. On the area, remember I said we're focusing on 2. Example was on the length and breadth. And because we're talking of the prism, which is 3D, we should add the edge. In the case of a rectangle, we'll say the volume of a rectangle is equals to L times B times H. It means calculation of prisms, you should always add H. In terms of the regular shapes, remember when it comes to a triangle we've got the H. The first H, which is the height of a triangle. The second H is the height of the prism, which is the 3D. It means in a case of 3D, we'll be saying area of a triangle is half times base times height times the height of the prism. And because you are given dimensions in this case, as long as the formula is there, you should know that the first H is the height of a triangle, the second one is the height of the prism. A circle as well. I can give an example of the JoJo tanks at some schools. There are a lot of schools using JoJo tanks. If you check on the JoJo tank, it's actually circular. That is a circular prism. It is a circular prism because you can identify the area there and identify the height. And because I'm talking about the height, the JoJo is always upright. So the tallest part of the JoJo is the height of the prism. And when you calculate the volume of the JoJo, the volume is equals to pi radius squared h. I usually say it is the area base referring to the formula for calculating area times the height of the prism. And because the formula is given, all what you need to do here, all what you need to check is to do the correct substitution. I've got a very nice example here of someone planning on building a swimming pool. Here is Lerato planning on building a swimming pool to cool off during hot summer days and to entertain his friends. The pool consists of a rectangular shape at the one end and a semicircular shape at the other end. The swimming pool consists of a regular shape and a semicircle at the end. And the rectangular shape, the dimensions are as follows. Because I'm talking of a pool here, remember when you swim, you need to go down a bit. And therefore, we refer to that as the depth. The depth of the swimming pool is the one regarded as the height. And therefore, when you are to calculate this, you check on the dimension given of a swimming pool, which is the rectangular part, 10, the length, the breadth is 8. And this 8 is also going to be used for a semicircle there attached to it, which is going to give you the radius of 4. The height of it is 2,5. And the height of a semicircle is 0,8. So when you are to calculate the pool, you are to say volume is equals to pi r squared h, because that's the semicircle, you say half pi r squared h plus LBH. From there you add them together to get the answer. I thank you so much.
Let's again, ma'am. Because I management I think maybe that's how teachers know what time is away. But thank you so much, Mama. Much appreciated, Mass. Let's see. Did you throw back, Nyana? Did you take you back?
Yeah, no, it did. It actually felt like I was sitting in class. It felt like back in my high school days, sitting in class, listening to my teacher explain all these things. Yeah.
Right. A horn from ma'am, please.
Yes.
Please.
She deserves.
All right, thank you so much. So we're going to be making way for Ngamula Chauke. He's going to be coming through on Progressive Talk.
But do remember that this lesson was brought to you by Kagiso Trust in partnership with the Limpopo Department of Education and Capricorn FM. Kagiso Trust, overcoming poverty.
Of course. So here's what you can expect coming up on Progressive Talk. The Limpopo Provincial Command